managed living, adjusted living facility development, and that's one thing. But it also the same. I saw the same verbiage when it was talking about the warehouse in the other one, where it said that that the conditions that we are looking at, there was nothing in the relevant policies and procedures. I just found that kind of interesting. I don't know that these things are that odd that there wouldn't be.
I think Mr.
Something.
Lloyd wants to respond to
All right, thank you.
Yeah, and that's a fairly typical response that you find when reviewing those. When analyzing the project, the staff planner is responsible for reviewing the specific policies to the area plan as well as the general master plan policies. And what you're seeing is that there are no policies that would violate or contradict the recommendation for approval. That's really what that finding is about.
I'm too literal for my own good. Thank you. Thank you.
Else?
This is Pat Caldwell for the record. I have a question. How often are SUPs extended 5 years when an applicant doesn't submit for building permits in that time frame?
This is Julie Olan for the record. I think you see them occasionally. 5 years is usually not the typical length of time we give applicants to have. This was a little bit different. But I would say you might see them, of all the special use permits, you might see 1 or 2 a year. I don't know, Mr. Lloyd, maybe you want to give a better, have a better sense of that. You see more of these than I do.
And thank you, Board Member Caldwell, for that question. That's actually a very good question. Typically, what you find is a 2-year extension is very typical. I would, again, it's up to the purview of this body whether or not 5 years is excessive or whether it's appropriate. It might be worthwhile asking the applicant to justify the need for the additional 5 years as the request came from the applicant.
All right. Is the applicant present wish to make any comments? Sure. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Mike Evans with Silverado Homes applicant. The main reason for the 5-year extension is this is a senior continuum of care facility that's a rental community. And since we got our approval, there's another project that opened up just down the street. Vintage is, I believe, the name of it. And they're still struggling with getting their occupancy. So for both of us to be operating at the same time, we're just going to saturate that market, and neither party will probably do well in getting the occupancy they need. So in our mind, based on their rate at which they're getting occupied, 2 years really potentially is not enough. And that since the original approval was for 5 years, 5 years just gives us a better window to see the other facility, get the occupancy and no longer maybe have that area saturated with a similar product.
Any questions for the applicant while he's here?
I actually do. Sorry, go ahead.
Would you classify this as an affordable home project? I know affordable homes is a sliding scale. I get that. But for the purpose of Washoe County, we need a lot of affordable homes, and senior homes are included in that. So how would you classify this?
Well, it's not a for sale product. So, as far as affordability, the rental rates, I guess, is what you would measure. It's probably going to be similar what you see. There's also another facility on the same street, Cascades Lodge of the Sierra, and they've been there for quite some time. And the rates would be similar. The one that I spoke to earlier, Vintage, and that just opened, I believe has, they call it like a Section 8 housing where depending if your income is too high, you're unable to move into that facility, and the way the facility can offer reduced rates is through, I guess, probably credits or tax credits that they get for maintaining that status and the things that they have to meet to have that status. So really, unfortunately, it's not necessarily an affordability thing other than we do obviously need to be competitive to be able to rent out our product.
Pat, did you have a comment?
Yeah, this is Pat Caldwell for the record. I guess my question would be, what if an SUP is not approved, right? What's the cost to the applicant to reapplying to the BOA or for approval for an SUP? Is it exorbitant or?
Might be a better question for staff to answer.
Yeah, Julie Olander for the record. So the price for a SUP is about, I think, $2,700. It's not only the cost, though, it would also be staff time involved and just repeating a whole same process. That's the reason we allow them to have an amendment of conditions for an extension of time, so that they can basically move forward with the same project, however, with an extended time frame. Does that answer your question?
Yes, I have, this is Pat Caldwell for the record. I have a follow-up question. The two sites that the gentleman mentioned from Silverado Homes, are they completely built out at the moment? I toured the area and I couldn't tell. And then the second question would be, if you do get approval and you do begin to build, do you build out the entire site for the extended period of time of 18 months? I'm not sure how long it takes. Or do you do it in phases?
So this is Julie Olander for the record. So I'll answer the first portion of it. Cascades has been there and it's totally built out. Vintage is also built out, but as Mike Evans says, it doesn't sound like it's totally occupied. So that is how that status is. And it's up to the property owner if they want to build out all at once or if they want to build out in phases. They have that option. So the permit, the extension of time is to obtain the building permit. Once they have started that process on a portion of the site or all of the site, within the 5 years, that allows them to be within this window. Does that
Okay,
answer?
I understand.
Okay.
Yes, thank you, Julie.
Now I have a question, Kathy Julian for the record. Julie, if they were to start building, let's say in year 3, and they don't complete it by year 5, they can still continue building. So it's simply getting it started within that 5-year period, correct?
Julie Olander for the record, yes. So once they start that building permit process, it then gets sort of passed off to the building department, and I think their window is 18 months, but that can get extended for various reasons through the building department. So that's a conversation they would have with building.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else? Do we have any public comment?
No public comment in chambers or via Zoom.
Okay, we'll bring it back to the board. Anybody have any comments, discussion?
Yeah, this is Rob, I do. Normally, well, historically, in the past, we have given one extension for projects. Normally, it is a 2-year extension. This 5 years, pretty excessive. I understand what the gentleman is saying with the other buildings that are going on out there, but I also do feel that we need some more senior housing. So I would be, I'd be in favor of approval on this as a one-time deal.
Kathy Julian for the record. I would agree with my colleague, and especially the need for rental senior housing is important. So I would agree.
Leo Harishny, as far as my comment on this, the 5-year time period, I kind of feel that I understand the concerns about granting the applicant a longer than usual time period, but on the other hand, to my mind, they were initially granted a 5-year allowance as it is. So Yeah, as long as it's the one time, that's to me is not necessarily unreasonable.
Julie Olander for the record. I would then ask that you suggest putting a condition, adding a condition to that 5 years, that this is a one-time situation, that, we can put that in the condition that this is the only extension that they get. So if that is what you want to make in your motion, that's what I would recommend.
Okay, noted. Go ahead.
This is Pat Calder for the record. I would agree with that condition. I was leaning towards a shorter period of time. I understand and am sympathetic to the staff's time that it takes to re-review submitted applications for SUPs. Where the rental market will be in 5 years for seniors is hard to predict. I would imagine that rental rates would probably be higher, but with the special condition, I think that would be acceptable to me, actually.
Okay, thank you.
I think that this is Rob for the record, that are you, the applicant, are you okay with us putting that in there, the condition of one extension?
I do, and I appreciate you guys considering it, and, hopefully we're going to keep our fingers crossed that that's enough and
Okay.
make it happen.
Okay, just please state your name for the record.
Mike Evans.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
Kathy Julian, for the record again, I would appreciate if we could also add that typical consistent.
7 to 7.
Yes, 7 to 7 for consistency with our other projects.
Once again, are you okay with that, sir?
Mike Evans for the record. Yes, that's perfectly fine. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay, we've got a motion on our hands.
Go for it.
Anyone willing to make a modified motion?
Let's see. All right.
This is Rob, I'll make it. I move that after giving reasoned consideration information contained in the staff report and information received during the public hearing, the Washoe County Board of Adjustments approve amendment of conditions case number WAC 25-0017 for Silverado Homes Incorporated, with the conditions included in Exhibit A in this matter, and the addition of building times from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Saturday, and the understanding that this is the one and only time extension that we are going to make at this time. Having made all 5 findings in accordance with Washoe County Code Section 110.810.30, subject to the conditions contained in Exhibit A to the staff report.
Kathy Julian, for the record, I second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed say nay. Motion passes. Thank you. Okay, let's move on to item 8B, special use permit, case number WSUP 25-0017. Mr. Lloyd?
Yeah, for hearing, discussion, and possible action to approve a special use permit for major grading for the development of a commercial office shop building, tracked equipment yard, and underground utilities. The purpose of the grading is to create an underground storm drain system which will route on-site drainage flows to adjacent regional drainage channels. The total excavation volume is 305 cubic yards. Total imported fill is 14,701 cubic yards, and the total disturbance area is 5.02 acres. And I'm pleased to welcome our newest planner, this is Jolene Bertetto, and she's going to be giving the presentation.
Great. Floor is yours.
Thank you, Trevor, and hello, everyone. It's great to meet you today. Jolene Bertetto, Washoe County Planner. This presentation is for special use permit WSUP 25-0017, concrete office grading. Starting off, here is a map of the subject property. This is zoned as industrial in the Spanish Springs planning area. It is surrounded by 6 other industrial parcels for a total size of 5.13 acres. A little background about the parcel: there was a reversion to acreage in 2021 to combine 2 adjoining parcels. It is currently undeveloped, and as stated by Trevor, the purpose of the grading is to allow for the construction of an office and shop for a concrete business and a yard for tracked equipment. And then grading is also needed for underground utilities, including a storm drain system. That storm drain system will route on-site drainage to an adjacent regional drainage channel. This request is for a major grading special use permit based on the following triggers. The first is grading of an area of 1 acre or more on parcels less than 6 acres in size. This specific project is going to be grading 5.02 acres. And then import or export of 5,000 cubic yards or more. This project will be importing over 14,000 cubic yards of fill. The fill material is going to be from nearby at the Western Nevada Materials, as seen on the map, just up the street off of Shawnee-Va Road. And I wanted to show on here that regional drainage is going to be located mainly along the western boundary. So the haul route is shown on the map here. And staff reviewed the application and found the following 5 findings. Consistency with the master plan and the Spanish Springs planning area. The improvements show there's adequate utilities and public facilities. The site is suitable for major grading. Issuance is not detrimental and no effect on military installations. The application was sent to 10 agencies for review, including Washoe County's Engineering Division, looking at those grading plans and making sure that there were no negative impacts on surrounding properties. For public notice, the application was sent to 33 unique property owners, and because this area is largely industrial, that noticing went out to 1,450 feet radius. And no neighborhood meeting was required for this project because it is specifically major grading and it's not establishing a commercial use. We received 1 public comment after the staff report was submitted. This was from a neighbor at 180 Design Place, and they were asking for more information about those drainage plans. They wanted to review the drainage plans with their own engineering team, and so the full application and those plans were shared with them. After reviewing of the application, staff recommends approval with the conditions that are shown in Exhibit A and provides this recommended motion. Thank you, everyone. And I am here today with the applicant. They did not prepare a presentation, but we're both available for questions.
Okay, thank you. Anybody have any questions?
I only had one, and it's probably not important. I'm just curious if the access, and whether this is for you or for the applicant, if there was going to be access only on Design Place, or will there also be ingress and egress on Shawnee-Va Road other than the Hall Road once the project is completed?
I'll invite the applicant up to talk about that.
Eric Wilkinson. I am a representative for the applicant. So to answer your question, the only permanent access will be off of Design Place. The access off of Shawnee-Va Road will only be for the moving in the fill.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Peter Gashon for the record, just curious, 14,000 cubic yards of material, how much higher is the site going to be raised in order to accommodate the drainage system that needs to be installed?
So it is noted that it needs to be raised up in order to have the drainage. Yeah, I don't remember that one, if you have that off the top of your head.
So I believe the highest we're going to fill is 3.5 feet underneath the building envelope, but average through the site is going to be around 8 to 18 inches.
Okay.
So on average,
okay,
over the 5 acres.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Yes, this is Pat Calder for the record. I have a follow-up question based on that. Is that similar to the other buildings that have been built there, the height of the grading?
So Eric Wilkinson for the record. Generally, yes. That 180 Design Place address is a newer build within the last couple of years, and they did have to fill, not considerably as we do. This parcel is also in the low point of the industrial development there. So we had a little bit more fill than the adjacent properties.
If I can also weigh in, just a little bit of historical background on the whole industrial site, not just this property. For many years, there was a blanket special use permit for grading over all of the business park properties. And so there's been a significant amount of grading and fill throughout the business park that didn't come before the Board of Adjustment because of the blanket special use permit that was extended for about 15 years until it expired, and that's why these folks are coming before you now.
Thank you. Anybody else? Do we have any public comment?
Yes, I have one hand raised on Zoom. Jay Mufara, if you would please unmute and state your first and last name for the record.
Hello, this is John Mufara. I am the architect for the adjacent property at 180 Design Place. Just to confirm, we did bring in some fill. Our site was high at one end, and we cut a little bit to level it off and brought in a little bit of fill at the low point. So additional fill was brought in. It was only 5,000 cubic yards, I think.
Okay, thank you for that.
My only concern is that the elevations along the property line between the two, they're not going to raise that up, that they'll meet the property elevations that we had provided.
I'm looking at the chair. I can answer that question, but I'm going to have to ask the chair.
Please, Mr. Lloyd, if you could.
Yes, we do have a standard code provision that requires that any grading have a minimum of a 2-foot setback at the property line, so it will not affect the grading right at the property line. I hope that answers the question that was asked.
Okay. Anybody else? Adriana?
No further hands raised on Zoom.
Okay, we'll close public comment and bring it back to the board. Any comments, questions anybody have?
Yeah, Jolene, I think you did a great job.
Oh, thank you very much.
Okay, if not, I'll entertain a motion.
Leo Harishny for the record. I move that having given reasoned consideration to the information contained in the staff report and information received during this public hearing, the Washoe County Board of Adjustment approve with conditions special use permit case number WSUP. Am I reading the right one? Yes. 25-0017 for Northern Nevada Holding Corporation with the conditions included as Exhibit A to this matter, having made all 5 findings in accordance with Washoe County Code Section 110.810.30.
Okay, thank you.
This is Rob, I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed say nay. All right, motion passes. Thank you. Okay, moving on. Chair and board items. Are there any future agenda items anyone would like? Any requests for information from staff? Okay. Director and legal counsel items. Any report on previous Board of Adjustment items?
Just one to report on. You may remember the special use permit for the Sanctuary of God special use permit. The applicants have appealed that decision, and it will be heard at the December 16th County Commission meeting.
December
Did
16th.
you
That's
say
all I have.
December 16th? Okay.
Thank you. Any legal information and updates?
Chaz Lemon for the record, nothing from me.
Thank you.
I'd like to say welcome.
Yes.
Indeed.
Yes,
Yeah,
welcome
welcome.
aboard.
Any public comment?
No further public comment in chambers or via Zoom.
Okay, the time is now 2:06. This meeting is adjourned.